Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive with us.
Glad to be back.
Today we've got a really interesting mix of stories.
Mm.
We're going to look at a new AI wearable that's making a big splash.
Mm.
We've also got kind of a security snafu at Microsoft.
Oh, boy.
And then we're going to finish up with something totally out there. A wild project that's using balloons. Wait for it to deliver internet access to remote parts of the world.
Balloons, huh?
I know, right?
Interesting.
It's pretty amazing. So, yeah, I think listeners will find this one really fascinating.
Definitely an eclectic mix.
For sure.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's jump right in with this Galaxy AI ring.
Okay.
So this thing is getting a ton of buzz online, and it's not hard to see why.
Yeah.
I mean, the design is super sleek. It's made of titanium, and from what I've read, it's so comfortable you basically forget you're even wearing it.
Forgettable in a good way, of course.
Right, exactly.
But what's really interesting to me is the always-on health tracking,
Yeah.
heart, blood oxygen, sleep tracking, all that with a battery life of 7 days.
7 days.
That's unheard of.
Yeah, that's crazy compared to, like, smartwatches
Right.
that need to charge every day or two.
Yeah, 1 or 2 days tops.
Yeah, exactly.
Really. 7 days.
Sign me up.
Yeah.
But honestly, what I find really intriguing about this ring is the AI aspect.
Yeah.
It's not just about spitting out raw data. It's supposed to act as an AI health coach,
Interesting.
analyzing your trends and giving you, like, tailored advice.
Oh, wow.
Kind of like having a tiny fitness guru on your finger.
I like that, a tiny fitness guru.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's not just telling you you got 8 hours of sleep. It's saying, hey, you were tossing and turning between 2 a.m. and 3 a.m. Maybe try cutting back on caffeine after dinner or something like that.
Yeah, that's the key differentiator here. I think other wearables might track your steps or sleep, but this one claims to leverage AI
Right.
to interpret that data and give you those personalized insights.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and nudge you towards better habits.
It's pretty cool.
Imagine getting suggestions tailored to your sleep patterns or workout recommendations based on your recovery time.
Yeah.
It's a whole other level.
It's moving beyond data collection and into actionable insights.
Absolutely.
I wonder how it compares to the Apple Watch in terms of, like, the AI analysis.
That's a good question.
I mean, they've been pushing their health and fitness features pretty hard, too.
They have, but the Galaxy AI ring seems to be positioning itself
Yeah.
as more focused on that AI-driven coaching element.
Right.
It'll be interesting to see how those two ecosystems develop, especially as data privacy concerns become more prominent.
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Speaking of data and security,
Oh,
our next story is, well, it's a bit of a head-scratcher.
okay.
Microsoft, of all companies, had a security mishap. They lost weeks of security logs because of a system bug.
Weeks of security logs.
I know.
That's not good.
So for those of us who aren't cybersecurity experts, maybe you can break this down a little.
Sure.
What exactly does this mean?
Well, security logs are basically detailed records of everything happening within a computer system, so losing them is a huge deal,
Oh, wow.
especially for businesses that rely on cloud services.
Right.
It's like having a security camera that suddenly stops recording.
Okay.
You're blind to any potential issues during that time.
So what kind of data are we talking about here?
Well, think about all the sensitive information businesses store in the cloud.
Right.
Financial records, customer data, intellectual property.
Uh-huh.
If there was any unauthorized access during those missing weeks,
Yeah.
it would be very difficult to detect.
And we're talking about, like, a significant time frame here.
A significant time frame.
September 2nd to September 19th.
Yeah, over 2 weeks.
Wow, that's a long time
It is.
for a potential breach to go unnoticed.
Right.
Have they said anything about what caused this bug?
Not much detail yet, but they're claiming it was an internal software glitch
Okay.
that led to incomplete logging. But the bigger question is how this happened in the first place.
Yeah, especially with a company like Microsoft
Right.
that, prides itself on security.
Exactly. It does raise concerns about the robustness of their systems
Yeah.
and the potential for similar incidents in the future.
Definitely puts a dent in their reputation,
Absolutely.
especially with so many competitors out there, like Amazon Web Services
Right.
and Google Cloud.
Yeah, vying for those same customers.
Makes you think twice about where you store your data.
It does.
Okay, ready for something totally different?
I think so. Lay it on me.
This next story is about using, get this, giant balloons
Giant balloons.
to provide internet access.
What?
I know it sounds crazy,
Yeah.
but it's a real thing.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
It's called Project Loon, and it started at Google X.
Mm-hmm.
The idea is to use these high-altitude balloons to beam internet down
Oh, wow.
to places where traditional infrastructure just isn't feasible.
So like really remote areas.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And these balloons, I mean, they're massive.
How massive are we talking?
Like 15 meters wide.
15 meters.
Yeah. And they're made from this super thin polyethylene plastic,
Okay.
and they just float around in the stratosphere,
Wow.
catching wind currents.
That's amazing.
And it gets even cooler.
It does.
They navigate by literally riding the wind.
What?
They have these sophisticated algorithms that adjust their altitude to catch the best winds,
Okay.
allowing them to stay aloft for extended periods.
So they're not just like randomly floating around. They're actually being controlled.
Right.
In a way.
It's a surprisingly elegant solution.
It is. Yeah.
And they're solar powered, too.
Oh, wow. So they're self-sufficient.
Yeah, pretty much each balloon has solar panels
Okay.
that generate enough electricity to power the onboard electronics and charge batteries for nighttime operation.
So it's a self-sustaining system.
Exactly.
Wow. That's really impressive.
So these balloons are floating around up there, riding the wind, powered by the sun.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild.
It is.
How much internet can one of these things actually deliver?
That's the question, right?
Yeah, what are we talking about in terms of coverage and speed?
Well, a single balloon can cover an area of roughly 40 kilometers,
Okay.
delivering speeds comparable to 3G.
3G.
Yeah, not exactly lightning fast by today's standards.
Right.
But remember, this is for areas that have little to no connectivity at all.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
In those contexts, even 3G speeds can be a game changer.
Absolutely.
Think about the impact this could have on rural communities, disaster-stricken areas,
Yeah.
places where setting up traditional infrastructure would be incredibly difficult and time-consuming.
It's about providing a lifeline, essentially.
Yeah.
Imagine being able to connect a remote village to the internet within days,
Wow.
instead of waiting months or even years
Yeah,
for traditional infrastructure to be built.
that's pretty amazing.
The potential for education, healthcare, economic development, it's quite remarkable.
It really is, but let's be realistic.
Okay.
There have to be some downsides, right?
There are always downsides.
What about weather conditions?
Yeah.
Can these balloons withstand storms or extreme temperatures?
That's a good question.
And wouldn't it be a nightmare to keep them from drifting into like restricted airspace or crashing into things?
Those are all valid concerns.
Yeah.
Weather is definitely a factor.
Okay.
And while the balloons are designed to be durable,
Mm-hmm.
extreme conditions can damage them.
Right. Yeah.
They do have safety features like parachutes for controlled descent, but maintaining a stable network in challenging environments is a complex undertaking.
It sounds like there's a lot to consider beyond just the technology itself.
There is.
We're talking about logistics regulations, international cooperation.
Oh, yeah.
It's a huge undertaking. As we wrap up this deep dive,
Yeah.
I keep coming back to this idea that technology is changing at a pace that's almost impossible to keep up with.
I know what you mean.
It's exciting, it's overwhelming, and it's a little bit scary all at the same time.
I think that captures it perfectly.
Yeah.
We're living in this era of exponential change, and it's challenging our assumptions about what's possible and what it means to be human in a world that's increasingly intertwined with technology.
So where does that leave us?
Okay.
What's the one key message you want listeners to take away from this conversation?
I want them to embrace a sense of both wonder and responsibility wonder at the incredible possibilities technology offers, but also a responsibility to engage with these changes thoughtfully, ethically, and with an awareness of the potential impact on ourselves and our world.
It's not about blindly accepting every new gadget or innovation. It's about being informed, asking questions, and shaping the future of technology in a way that benefits all of humanity.
Well said. And ultimately, it's about remembering that technology is a tool. And like any tool, it can be used for good or for ill. The choice is ours.
That's a powerful thought to leave us with. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of cutting-edge tech.
It's been a pleasure.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep shaping the future.